and come back for a fresh start. And that's exactly what the Czechs need. And it really is a blockbuster opening singles. Pegula, a top 5 player now. Kvitova back in form, almost knocking on the door of the top 10. Again, a former Australian Open finalist. The American number 2, Francis Tiafoe, what a year he had in the 2022 season against the fast improving Thomas Majchak. That may decide it. And then the mixed doubles to complete this 5-match tie. And those 4 names can change even within 10 minutes of that final match. So this is Group C. United States taking on the Czech Republic, but there's also a very strong German team as well, who will begin their campaign in the next day or so. Tonight it will be the turn of Australia resuming against Great Britain. Tennis Australia have done an unbelievable job to put this event together. They really did it in 6 weeks. And, all the advertising and billboarding, it really looks like a team event that's here to stay. There's a 7-year commitment with the tours. Great to have all the players back in town here at Sydney, a place they know well, ready to kick off the new season. For many, they haven't had an awful lot of time to recover from the 2022 year, which also ended with team events, the Billie Jean King Cup and the Davis Cup. They went way into November. And team competitions certainly are becoming more of a feature of our game and our tour. There was somewhat of a downpour first thing this morning. It's not too much of a problem under the roof here at the Ken Rosewell Arena. Players just being held in its underground cavernous tunnels while we just wait for the walk-ons and the anthems as a ceremony for every day. Obviously, Tennis Australia haven't had a lot of time to advertise this, but really healthy crowds, certainly last night, to see Team Australia.
Please give a warm welcome to our first team representing the Czech Republic, led by Captain Jiří Vanek. A welcome to Dalibor Svertina, Jessica Malekchova, Tomas Machach, Marie Bauskova, Jiří Lechečka, and Petra Kvitova. And their opponents for today's session, representing the United States of America, led by Captain David Witt, is Hunter Reese, Desiree Kravchuk, Dennis Kudla, Alicia Parks, Francis Tiafoe, Madison Keys, Taylor Fritz, and Jessica Pegula. If you are able, please now be upstanding for the national anthems of the Czech Republic and the United States of America.
Lovely to have you with us here this morning, and actually, given the holidays, a good crowd already starting to filter into this 10,500-seater Ken Rosewall Arena. Pleased to say that the rain seems to have stopped, and I hear that the skies will be clearing a little later on. Of course, this refitted arena, which was ready for the start of the 2021 ATP Cup, $35 million Australian makeover to put this sort of canvas, this roof. It really has turned this into the most spectacular stage. I'm Sam Smith, great to be alongside Laura Robson this morning. We had a fairly, not too late tonight, but it's been quite a quick turnaround, hasn't it?
Quick turnaround. That tends to be how the tennis season
you look
works,
fresh
doesn't
and
it?
good, though. You look fresh and good this morning.
It's never ending, the tennis season, and it's so nice to be back. As soon as it's done, I miss it. And then now that we're back here, you remember how much hard work goes into an event like this, but it's such a fun one. They're having just the best time, all these teams.
Just getting a drift down of this literally magnificent covering that we're sort of under the big top here on the Ken Rosewall Arena, named after one of the greats of our game. And with a new competition, Laura, you never know quite how it's going to unfold. What was the highlights and the sort of taste of the first day's play for you?
Well, I just love the camaraderie between all the players. The fact that they're out supporting all day, trying to get their teammate over the line. It's just fantastic to see. We saw Tim Henman just getting so overexcited when Katie Swan was playing last night. And again, with Maddie Keys and Frances Tiafoe, they had such good energy while Keys was playing.
Hi, Casey. This is Marcella. How about for the toss? Hi. Before we start, just after the toss, please stay. We take one photo with her first, and then you two take another photo, okay? Condition probably already watched yesterday. The big screen will reveal from the live ELC system for the close calls. And net we use machine. And the shot clock is at the back on the wall, also on the corner of each side, okay? And your country already labeled on the top box, okay? So just when you get ready, you will see it. Any questions? Yeah, and wait for me to call time. We have a TV changeover, it's longer. Yeah, any questions? No? Would you like to call, Jessie? Heads or tails? Heads? So your tails. That's heads, Jessie, your call. Yeah, can we have a photo? Yeah, please. Yeah.
Marcella there doing a great job. All the youngsters were out playing mini tennis on this court before the second day's play got underway. That's something that they like to do across all the cities, and certainly at the Australian Open as well. So we're all set here for day 2, which will feature number 1 women's singles, the number 2 men's singles, and then a mix doubles to round off the 5 matches which make up this tie in Group C. So a rather gentle introduction, I have to say, for the players for this Australian summer. Normally, especially without the roof, they would be sweltering in the conditions here in Sydney, with a fair amount of breeze as well. This court, which was one of the most difficult to play on, all the players have said that has actually become one of the great stages, and it's a stage that Jessica Pegula will enjoy. She played in the Sydney International last year, but an absolutely standout performances really all over the season, a year of consistent achievement culminating in a spot in the WTA finals, and I just wonder how she's going to back it up.
I think she's ready. I think she's already pushing Swiatek. She's got such a big game. She had that huge win at the end of the year in Guadalajara, which was her first Premier 5 win, which I think has just given her such a boost. She was always close. She was edging towards that goal, and then finally to get that win, although wasn't quite able to back it up at the WTA finals, ended up losing all 6 matches there in singles and doubles, but she just looked exhausted. She was one of 7 players to win over 40 matches in this season, and she's put the work in the off-season, so I feel like, for me, she's got to be one of the standout contenders looking ahead to Melbourne already. Yeah,
it certainly has played very well there in the past, and now we're going to someone who certainly found some form last year. It was a little quiet initially, didn't have the best Australia, but back into the world's top 20. She has been coming here for many years. As I mentioned, twice lifted the trophy at the Sydney International, and just really loves the fast conditions and just the whole setup here.
Generally not so good in hot and humid conditions, but she does seem to be handling that much better the last couple of years than previously, and I think she does better as a dark horse, actually. When she's the underdog, when she's playing a top player, especially someone who hits as fast as Pegula, Kvitova loves that pace on her racket.
So we're all set here for what could be quite a fast start to the morning. I believe Todd Woodbridge is courtside. Todd, can you hear us okay?
I can. It's a good morning to you, Sam, and to Laura, and I'm looking forward to this one, particularly courtside, because one of the key things when you get to sit so close is how hard we see the ball hit. And I guess the thing that I'll be looking at here is who can get some spin on the ball, because we're two of the flattest hitters in the women's game here today. But I'm always quite excited to watch Petra Kvitova, because I often feel that, you know, she should have won more major championships. She's such a great ball striker, and when she's engaged, she's so dangerous. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can bring to a start of a new season.
Yeah, we've done a few of her finals here, haven't we, Todd, over the years. Just a little update on the balls. I was reading today, John Millman, the Aussie player, was talking about how he feels that the balls are lighter this year, the AO 2023. That's gonna help some of the big hitters. Have you heard any more about that, Todd? I know you're the expert when it comes to rackets, strings and balls.
Yes, particularly at the beginning of tournaments, because I never liked the ball at the beginning of the tournament until I got deeper into the tournament. But look, we've heard that.
30 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this match will be the best of 3 tie-break sets.
Well, one of the important things about getting used to the ball is what it does throughout that ball change. And what have already heard from the day 1 matches is that the ball comes out of the can very, very fast. Those first 2 to 3 games is where things will fly, and then it gets heavy. So that's when you have to sort of knuckle down and be prepared to be patient within the points.
Pretty good conditions here for the 3rd match of 5 in Group C. The United States taking on the Czech Republic, and it is America who are certainly in the driving seat, leading by the 2 matches they won yesterday. Can Petra Kvitova, double Grand Slam champion, just start to build the comeback for the Czechs?
First set, Petra Kvitova is representing Team Czech Republic to serve. Ready, play. Love 15.
4th meeting between the two. It was Kvitova who got the best of when they played at the US Open a couple of years ago, and again on the fast courts in Qatar. Both those matches in straight sets.
15.
On the way to the quarterfinals of the US Open, Jessica Pegula got her revenge, and it was rather a swift one. 6-3, 6-2 at last year's US Open. These two do not hang about when they get on court together. Oh, just a taster of what might unfold over the next couple of hours. Laura, what are you looking for out here from these two?
Heavy hitting. I think without going into too much. I just feel like Pegula's maybe a little bit more consistent from the back of the court. Petra tends to kind of run in hot flashes almost for a couple of games and then throw in a few errors. And for me, it's a difficult one. Because when Petra's on, she's almost unplayable. I think more than any other player out there, she can just take the tennis away from your racket and you can't do anything about it. But it's just whether she can actually get that first strike in inside the baseline. That forehand there is just a bit loose at the start of this game. And if we look at that head-to-head, I think the match to really take note of is that one at the US Open this year, Pegula coming through in straight sets, and that was when they're both kind of playing well. Kvitova was coming in with some good matches behind her. She'd just done really well in Cincinnati prior.
Oh, check number one, finding it early doors here. And an excellent start for the two-time Wimbledon champion. Coach and fiancé, usually Abalek, former top 100 player himself on tour, so Petra very happy on and off court these days after some very difficult times. I have to say, look, I've never thought about putting the words tennis and hot flushes in the same sentence, because I think of hot flushes in a very different context to you at your age. But I will do that from now onwards if a player is playing in a particularly streaky way. Streaky is something that Pegula doesn't do. Backed up at the start of this year, a quarter-final at the Australian Open. It really has been a good place for her. Czech team can just, on that iPad, they can just review everything. They can do replays of the previous game. They can see how hard Petra is hitting the ball out of the blocks here. But we hope to see a refreshed Jessica Pegula. You mentioned in Texas she was absolutely dead on her feet after playing both tours last year.
Well, she's had a much better preparation coming into this event, even without having too much time off, because she obviously got married end of 2021, then picked up COVID, so really didn't have much time at all in terms of a pre-season. I think she was down to a couple of days training. That was about it. And this season made the decision to withdraw from the Billie Jean King Cup after the WTA finals. I think that's such a wise choice. The tendency is to just kind of tough it out. You want to be a part of the team, but she just had nothing left to give.
Well, that's when you can potentially pick up a major injury as well. Didn't want to go from Texas to Glasgow. You could see it in her eyes, actually, in Texas. She was done. I don't think anyone played more tennis than she did last year, or this year, excuse me. I'll be really relieved when we actually do get into 2023, because it is confusing starting a new season still at the end of the year of the old season. Back of the teams in there Marie Boskova was a little outplayed in the end by a very good Madison Keys.
Game team United States.
Safely aboard this #1 singles.
1 game on.
Well, from courtside, there's a couple of things you can see already, Sam, from here. When you watch Petra Kvitova play, she's such an offensive player the whole time, and you wonder when you watch if she could just throw in that little bit of defense and change up against Pegula. That's going to be very important because, as you'll recall, the one player that gave Jessica a lot of trouble last year here in Australia was Ash Barty, who gave all of the short balls, the slices, the variation, and that's where you can break down the Pegula game.
Yeah, I think the difficulty, Todd, is I'm not sure that Kvitova's really got that plan B like Ash does. She's not quite comfortable dropping into the slice or coming forward, mixing things up. She's really a heavy hitter, and that's about it. If it works, it works.
A lot in the first half of last year, but then picked up the title on the grass at Eastbourne. That suddenly made her one of the favourites for Wimbledon. They were very surprised when she lost to Paula Badosa. Just about held on to that one, and this is a very good start from the top 2 women's singles players. 2-1 Kvitova, first set. It'll be interesting to see the women and see how they get used to the team zones and interacting and being a little more extrovert, because this is all new for them. The men have got used to it in the ATP Cup, and I think many of them watch the Labour Cup as well. But I don't know how long it will take, and all this which they've never had access to before. They've got 8 channels on there. It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot of information, yeah. I'm not sure how much of that you actually want to take in while you're playing. It can be a lot to have that sort of stats coming at you at the change of ends. I think it's really more for the team, so that they can see the replays, see what's working, and just give little nuggets of advice rather than anything huge.
Yeah, I think that's really important, Laura, that you have to work out what your player likes and doesn't like, and that's up to the captain to really reiterate that. I know Alex de Minaur last night doesn't like too much information coming his way, just enough to say, come on, well done, keep going, and all the positive talk. But tactics can be difficult for some players.
Yes, and you can also watch what's happening in Perth as well when they start over there, and also over in Brisbane.
I would be so nosy. If I was playing and I could see what was happening in Brisbane and Perth, I'd have that on at the change of ends.
40 love.
I haven't seen too many longer rallies yet. We knew it was going to be one-strike tennis, but it seems to be more in the racket of Kvitova at the moment.
Well, she's come out, hasn't she, swinging freely. I mean, they have to win this match.
Game, Team United States.
It's maybe even more dangerous than she is when she's on tour.
I think you have to take into account her Fed Cup record as well, a Billie Jean King Cup record, six-time champion.
Also won the Hotman Cup back in 2014 with Thomas Berdych. There's a name from the past. Yeah, I was looking at, she's had 9 top 10 finishes in her career and also a remarkable comeback. It's now just over 7 years since she was attacked in her apartment back home in the Czech Republic, and all 5 fingers on her left hand were damaged.
I almost can't believe she's never been #1.
Well, she was
so
a
close.
match away back in 2011, where she won not only here but 5 other titles on the tour, and also remember that final of the Australian Open against Naomi Osaka back in 2019, where she was a set away. If she'd have won that match, she'd have gone back up to the top. She's really throwing the house at it out here this morning.
40-30.
There in the end, and we remain on serve in this opening set.
those two serves from 30 all.
I have to say, opening match of the year, it is living up to top billing, isn't it, so far from these two.
Every time I look at Boskova, she's looking at the iPad, awfully confused. I think there's so much info there. Brows furrowed. She's eventually going to figure it out. They've got something there.
It's newly refitted Kenra as well. Arena, 35 million Australian dollars. Just it's gone into making this one of the finest stages champion. The red shirt in the centre there. Wayne Ferreira, the coach of Francis Tjaffe. What a great job he's done. The former top 10 player who would have graced these courts on many occasions.
Pegula.
But Jessica Pegula, with all the success that she had last year, 3 Grand Slam quarterfinals on each occasion, losing to the winner. She does come from this incredibly high-achieving family, and I think there's been a role reversal there. She's gone from the daughter of Terry Pegula, he's a billionaire, hugely successful self-made businessman, as is her mother Kim. Also, her older sister Laura played Division 1 tennis. I think now they are the parents of top tennis player and the sister of one of 5 siblings in a large family, large sporty family. And actually, success last year even more remarkable. She didn't really talk too much about it, but her mother Kim, who was actually born in Korea and came to the United States as an orphan at 5 years of age, was seriously ill last season. So she was also managing a lot on the home front as well. I think it tells you a lot about. I mean, you've got 2 of the most probably popular players out here on tour, both very low-key, calm, friendly off court, but also immensely resilient as well.
Game Team United States.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Jess since under 12s.
Is your same age? Same age?
Exact same age, yeah. And she's really had to work through all the challenges. She's had major injuries, couple hip issues, couple knee issues that she had when she was growing, and then even when she first started to break through, she kind of had to restart again after another hip surgery. So she's played all the 25s, the 60s for years and years before she made it to this level.
contrast there between power and feel, and the former Wimbledon champion.
15 love.
Just looks so simple when Kvitova's on her game. Just that classic 1-2 combination. We can just see here how much Pegula's struggling with it, not able to hit a single shot inside the baseline once the rallies started.
Well, she would have had a fairly long off-season, shut down in sort of mid to late October. Plenty of time to prepare for coming up for the new year. Kvitova going well here as she tries to keep the Czech Republic in this tie, and we remain on serve in this opening set.
Team Czech Republic leads 4-3.
Well, just a reminder of where we are. Only about half an hour's drive to the west of the Sydney CBD, and I don't know how much time players get to take in the sights, but we're never tired of looking at them. You been in the icebergs pool, Laura?
No, it's on my list of things to do.
I can tell you, I've been dumped a few times in there.
Also on my bucket list, learn how to serve well. I've had a couple of lessons, and it's been mostly me getting absolutely dunked on.
Yes, rather overcast. The conditions today here it will heat up as we sort of head into the weekend and early next week. Just to explain the format, these are the group stages held over in Perth, Sydney and Brisbane. And next Wednesday there will be the city finals. And the 3 winning teams will go through to the last 4, including the best runner-up, and that will start over Friday, Saturday and next Sunday. So a lot of tennis to come.
Well, just Pegula serving with new balls here, Sam and Laura, and it could be either one of two things. Could be very dangerous if Petra can get onto these first strikes here, because the new ball is quick. But Jess handling it well. I'm a bit surprised on the return games from Petra how little she's tried to get into the point. She's just really been going for such a big return, and maybe she needs to get herself into 1 or 2 strike rallies before going for that big shot.
So often when we're watching Kvitova, we're thinking if she could just go for the same shot but through the middle of the court.
There you go, Laura. She gave us one.
It's so simple, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
You wonder why she doesn't do it all the time, but then she wouldn't be Kvitova, really, would she?
No, this is true.
Game Team United States.
So yet to have a break point so far in this opening half an hour. Something's got to give out here.
4 games.
But when you look at both players at the moment, it's just, when you have talked about how many matches that Jess Pegula has played, she just looks like she's waiting. She's just biding her time, and she's going to let Kvitova make those errors. She seems fairly comfortable in this scenario at the moment.
For Petra. You've been on the receiving end of this kind of punishment, except you got the better of her 10 years ago, Laura. You beat Petra 11-9 in the final set.
Wow, we're getting old.
At the Australian Open. You think you're getting old?
10 years
yeah,
ago?
10 years ago, when Petra was one of the best players in the world there. And, under the lights, I remember it well. 11-9 in a decider. That wouldn't happen now, because we have a 12-point tiebreak at 6-all. It was epic. So what is it like? What is the ball like when it hits your strings?
Yeah, I mean, I've practiced with Kvitova a fair amount as well, and the thing is, you do get used to the pace at a certain point, and it's just her placement of the shot that really does you in. If she can go back behind, use that lefty swinging forehand cross court, and just keep you guessing, that's the difficulty, because she can hit any spot on the court. She's got the ability, she's got the feel in her hands. So it's not so much the weight of shot like a Maddie Keys type of player, but it's really the placement. So when she starts to go off, you know, as we were saying, if she's just able to hit a bit more through the middle of the court, that's when she's her most dangerous for me, because she sets up the point a lot better.
Do you feel there's nowhere safe for you to go out there with her?
Well, I mean, you say to yourself, definitely don't go short to her forehand. And if her serve's firing as well, you kind of tell yourself, well, cut off the angle on the ad side, because there's a good chance she's going to go for the swinger, and then she'll ace you twice down the middle. So you try and get in her head, and it doesn't really work.
The potency is that she can hit anywhere. She can get to you.
You know, a shot like that for me should always be back cross court from her. It's such a makeable shot. She could hit it 100 times out of 100 in practice, and yet as soon as she's in a match situation, she just goes for the winner instead.
Okay. First juice game of this opening set. Pegula's just starting to make her mark. WTA coach of the season for 2022. She vaulted into the world's top 3, and a first opportunity now for the American.
Pegula waiting for the error there. She's getting further and further behind the baseline.
Advantage, Team Czech Republic.
We never quite know what you're going to get from a 2-time Wimbledon champion, whether it's going to be good Petra or bad Petra. I think we have the former this morning.
Great mix up there with the slice from Pegula, and then just waited for that one to drop. She's so far behind the baseline that she can find that angle on the backhand side. For me, that's her best shot. The backhand cross so low over the net.
Well, here at the United Cup, we're allowed coaching. Just a moment ago, David Witt in the Team United States box was chatting to Jess about court position, and you guys talked about she was getting back a bit too far from the baseline. He's saying keep yourself up on there. That is allowed, which is a good thing here, but I'm against it once we're in individual tournaments, just to put that out there.
Surviving a mini scare, and we are still on serve in this very entertaining opening set. What a way to start the day. A smattering of fans in the lower bowls. Not easy to start at this level, is it, for the first match of the new season? But these two are performing brilliantly so far.
What other event would you get these two playing first round? And then I think the toughest part about this is the nerves when you're sitting watching your teammates. So I've spoken to so many of the players who said their palms are sweaty, they're trying to stay calm on the side, but you just get so wrapped up in the moment.
Certainly a high-octane start to this Friday morning as we head into the middle weekend of this inaugural United Cup. One of the features of Pegula's, you already touched on it, but just how much doubles she played. And even with the single success, she didn't back off at all from that tour. Took titles in Melbourne. Oh, sweetly done.
I do wonder how much doubles Jess will play this year.
Well, that was going to be my question.
By the end of the season, it
yeah.
definitely took a lot out of her.
I mean, it's done the job, hasn't it? It's helped her be far more confident than it. When that tournament in Melbourne, that was one of the warm-up events before the Australian Open. But made the final of Roland Garros with Coco Gauff. They won in Qatar. She won Washington, Toronto, San Diego. And it also had a great effect on the teenage Coco Gauff, also vaulting into the world's top 10. But no, we'll see. We'll see how she goes. She's down actually to the mixed, the 5th match of this type.
How cool is that it's Pegula and Fritz down to play the mix later today. We'll see if that changes.
That could change. One area that was handy for Jessica was that she warmed up with Desiree Kravchuk, who is a left-hander. It was a little earlier today, and that just helped her get her eye. Not too many top lefties out there anymore.
Left. Second.
That's Desiree on the right alongside Madison. He's a mixed doubles specialist, 4 Grand Slam titles for the Californian. How quickly things can change. And Kvitova with their first break point of this opening set, which is also an opportunity to close it out.
I was almost expecting Kvitova to try and cut the angle off a bit there, take that one on the rise. The first couple of forehands in the rally was so aggressive.
This is really something from Kvitova. And she has another chance now to wrap up this opening set. Well, that second serve was under the radar. 117 Ks as it registered.
Pegula just laughing to herself. She had absolutely no chance on that. If it had just touched the edge of the line.
She's got another go here. How quickly things could change, just like getting broken in her last service game. So once more at set point.
Advantage, Team United States.
Pegula unfazed in this game by the attacks coming from the far end. Fourth deuce now in this game.
Well, again, it's just Kvitova going for broke so often that it just seems like Pegula struggling to find the rhythm off the serve. She doesn't know where she should be covering off the split step.
Three set points
Advantage,
for the Czech have come and gone. Another opportunity right here. Only on one occasion, though, has she had a second serve to look at. Good match play from Pegula.
Two set points where she's had a backhand return off a very playable serve. Both times going long.
Too good.
advantage, Team Czech Republic.
Kvitova digging in here. She knows her team need the win, given their position in the tie. Gets away from the Czech.
Deuce.
That's another attack from the Czech racket. And a sixth set point.
Advantage, Team Czech Republic.
Where are you serving if you're Pegula right now?
Into the backhand. See if she misses another backhand return. She missed that. Oh, the perfect return, moved in behind it. She's made that shot probably more than 10 times today. That exact one, just pulled it wide.
Lead held 4 centimetres. Shot was missed by. So we're back at deuce for the 7th time.
Fair play to Pegula here. She's just hanging in there.
Look at the reaction when she, after that that last Kvitova set point, she seems to just be able to just deal with it, just have some perspective. And that game tells you everything about the American. She's as tough as they done. 5-all first set.
5 games over.
Just Pegula grew up, but not watching an awful lot of tennis, but I think her mother gave her a whole selection of sports autobiographies, particularly tennis players. Mum Kim loved tennis, and she would then be read to while she was in bed by Mum. And that's how she kind of got her initiation into this game.
And after coming through a game like that, I feel like Pegula's just now going to relax even more, take a bit of the pressure off herself, and Kvitova will be thinking, how did I lose that set? So many chances. Looking for the return there. How often do we see someone save a couple set points and break straight away in the next game? That momentum swing comes so quickly, and she can feel it here. She's now looking a lot more positive between points.
And Laura, you can very much feel that from courtside as well, because every time she had that chance on those set points, Petra Kvitova, she hit the ball flatter and harder, and that's her go-to when she's getting that little bit tense and nervous, and it's even more so that you can see from my position here at the moment.
Once again, Pegula soaking up the pressure. And comfortable with the pace now. So for a second successive Kvitova service game, Pegula with the chance to break. crikey.
30-14.
She's made it, can you believe it? So a third successive deuce came here on the back end of what has already been such an entertaining set. Too far off the hour mark now.
I was just about to say Kvitova's footwork looked like it was dropping off slightly, but she's just forced herself to stay aggressive in those last 2 points.
Sledgehammer solutions from the Czech.
Advantage, Team United States.
Hard to overstate the importance of this opening set in the context of the tie.
Oh, she's pulled it wide.
And I gotta say, Laura, when I watched her play Paula Badosa at Wimbledon in the third round, where she was certainly the favourite and coming off that win at Eastbourne, you saw a lot of this kind of tennis, some great tennis, but then these really careless misses at key moments. Fourth chance in this game for the American. Pegula's found her way. And we do have the first break, and Pegula now for Team USA will serve for this opening set.
Well, so many of Kvitova's matches are like that, aren't they? Where she's leading, she looks so comfortable, and then all of a sudden it can switch and she just throws in an error or two. And you feel like that gets in her head a bit, where she starts to go for even more on the big points. And it should really be the other way around.
She doesn't have a backing up setting, does she, at all?
And it seems like such a simple fix to go for the same amount of power, but just through the middle of the court. But I think in a lot of ways she defaults to how she played as a junior, which is just go for broke constantly and then see what happens. But against someone as steady as Pegula, who's just waiting for that one chance to take advantage of, you're just not going to get yourself over the line.
Just Pegula far more animated in the American team zone than her opponent out here.
I could listen to that all day. think Pegula's got such a good tennis brain. She knows how to figure out matches as she's out there. In combination with David Witt, it's worked so well.
Such a clean finisher, and she's become the complete package. The body is strong now. Hasn't had quite as many hip surgeries as you, but not too far off. She's become a more nuanced player with layers to her game. And she certainly knows what she's doing in the forecourt. Not to mention a little extra on those serves. So what a turnaround. Saved 6 set points just a couple of games ago. Pegula now for Team USA with the chance to close.
Let first. T15.
Pegula waiting for the electronic line call. Still set point for the American. What a play from Kvitova.
How about that? 3 points. And she's right back in it.
And how good was that volley? I mean, this was such a difficult shot that Pegula got down there, and that was a touch of class, wasn't it?
It looks even better on the replay.
Wow.
You'd have been happy with that one too.
Very much so,
Yeah.
Sam.
It's made your morning.
Expecting such a big shot constantly off Kvitova's racket that Pegula just wasn't ready to come forward. Stuck in no man's land, trying to dig that out off the floor, and all of a sudden, how things can turn. The moment you think Kvitova's going to throw in a couple of errors to give you the set, well, she does the opposite.
She can really mess with your head playing with Petra. Both women now who have had chances to close, multiple opportunities to close out this set and have failed to do so.
Advantage, Team United States.
I'd be going straight back to that backhand return here if I'm Pegula lining up for this one.
Fourth chance.
Four.
coming. Took too much pace off the second serve. It was positioned with not enough slice on the ball, so it didn't come in into Kvitova's body whatsoever. Just sat up nicely.
And this is tennis for you, isn't it? You rattle through the opening 8 games with barely any challenges to their serves, and since then it's been full on. Petra's coming.
Well, another surprise for me that Pegula's going tee with the serve there into Kvitova's forehand, which under pressure on the return has been really strong today. Overall, she's missed more off that side, but she just goes for it more when needed.
Into a first set breaker. Now 63 minutes serve already passed. And the destination of this opening set still yet to be decided. 6 set points have come for the Czech. Pegula at 6-5, 40 love. You thought she was going to grasp it, but no. So on we go here. Lovely.
Yeah, very nicely played, and you think sitting courtside that it all comes down this tie break to whether Kvitova can keep the unforced error count off the racket. Now that's hard when you're going for the lines and hitting it as big as she is, but if she wants to win this tie break, she has to almost pull in just that little bit, which is so against her nature.
And this is typical Jessica Pegula, the one that you've got to know since you were in the under-12s. Unflappable, doesn't seem outwardly to show any kind of stress.
I wouldn't actually say that's true. Back in the day, she used to show a lot.
Yeah, no, I have heard that actually.
And it used to be really quite negative. That's something that she's worked on so much off the court, just figuring out how to keep that poker face, especially at a moment like this in the set where it could really go either way. Both players have had so many set points, and it's just looks so calm.
I heard it, but I didn't believe it because I'd only ever seen her on tour. Well, things don't stand still for too long when these two are on court.
How about that? That just tells the whole story of the first set.
Of which Kvitova was 4 centimetres away from winning.
We're just waiting for a towel to come out on the court. Petra's going to get it herself, where she sort of went down so low on that last bit. So a bit of tidying up, housekeeping.
Zhong Juan is
4-0, Team United.
To get down there as well.
5-1. Team United States.
Pegula will not be resting easily with this double mini break advantage. It's fairly meaningless when Petra is at the other end.
Pegula just running away with this tiebreak a bit, and you would think another point on serve where she's been going a lot more out wide, taking a bit of pace off the first and going for the slider that's moving away from Kvitova's backhand side. So just one mini break is the deficit for the Czech. 5-2 looks a long way back. Really, not really the case with a couple of serves to come here. Still might have another twist in this long opening set. Played.
Team United States. Let Person.
Second double of the set, and surely now that is enough for the American. And it's the unforced errors that have just littered her performance out here this morning. Fifth chance for Pegula to wrap up the opener.
It's contagious.
6-4, Team United States.
Just stunning, isn't it, from Petra?
I'd like to see a lot more of that, even if Kvitova ends up losing this set. Just that mix-up with the pace and then all of a sudden dropping into that short slice. It wasn't even the best drop shot, but it does just enough to get Pegula off the baseline, and it's unexpected.
Kvitova still facing set point here. What pressure. They change ends for the second time in this opening set breaker.
And that's exactly the point that Laura's been calling for there. And it happens with Petra when she is behind. She just takes that little bit off the ball and gets a little more shape. And gee, she does so much better within these rallies when she just spreads the court a little bit with the rolling ball cross court. Gets Pegula to have to go to that one-handed slice, and then she's totally in control. You wonder why it can't happen when she's either even or in front. It's that instinct of hers to go bigger to finish it off. What will she do from here?
Well, I think we can see in the Hawkeye here that under pressure, Kvitova's forehand has generally been really good, but in those few set points that she had earlier on, a lot of those forehands are missing long, where she's just not got the rotation on the ball. She's playing it quite high on the legs. But you're right, Todd. It would be so simple, wouldn't it?
She's pushed it. Well, at 5-1 down in this opening set breaker, this looked most unlikely. 8 set points have come and gone for the American.
Team Czech Republic.
And Kvitova's had more than a handful of chances as well. And another opportunity here. United Cup has just come alive this morning on day 2. A set of such fine margins and so many opportunities. But in the end, it goes the way of the Czech Republic with Kvitova taking the opener on the tiebreaker. She wins it by 7 games to 6. My goodness. We all rather need a breather right now.
Oh, if you're David Witt here, what are you even saying? Because even the sort of straightforward score lines are still well over an hour. Not like in our day, Sam.
Second set. Team United States to serve.
If we get a second set as good as the first, we really are in for a treat here.
15 left.
And Hawkeye's just been in my ear to say that 13% of the points in the first set were set points.
That was only part of the story.
15-13.
A little window here for Kvitova already in the beginning of the second. Pegula just probably physically, emotionally, slightly flat coming out of the changeover.
Kvitova trying to get a fast start here. I'm sure she has a lot of interest in playing a long three-setter. And Pegula is broken for a second time, and everything's going the Czechs' way now as she leads by a set and 1-love. Laura, what would you like to see Jess go to try and just stop this Kvitova train right here?
I'd almost slow it down. I think the serves that have worked best for Pegula at the 30-all points, where she's gone for the slow slider wide, and then just when she's in the rally, rather than go back in her positioning, to just drop more into that backhand slice. It's been fairly successful when she's thrown one in the rally, and it forces Kvitova to also go for that forehand slice back cross court, and then you almost restart the point. But if you keep giving Petra more and more pace to work with, she's just going to go for lines off both sides.
C'est bon, il est.
15 line.
Let's hope the cameras all around. Don't give you an awful lot like you do in the washing meadow at the US Open. And that ball would have kind of reared up and plopped somewhere just after the service line.
And that's one of the first negative reactions we've seen from Pegula. It must have been so immensely frustrating to be that close to the first set, have so many set points, and just not play 1 point well enough to get herself over the line. And now she's setting a break down out of nowhere.
Again, Team Czech Republic. Team Czech Republic, please. 2 games to run.
And if we take a look at this average rally hit point, the difference between Pegula and Kvitova has just been huge. Pegula constantly on the back foot trying to hang on once the rally gets going. Kvitova getting more and more inside towards the baseline. And then when she gets a bit of confidence behind her shots, Kvitova's unbeatable.
Love 15.
Just got a clip of the potential mixed doubles team, Jessica Malekova and young Dalibor Sversina.
That return was 145 kilometers per hour.
Pegula dealing with enormous amounts of firepower. Yes, so 45k, that's about, in old money, about 90 miles an hour. Imagine someone driving past you on the freeway at that kind of speed. That's what you're looking at from a Kvitova return.
Whoops.
Yeah.
50-30.
Pegula broken in her last couple of service games after so many easy holds earlier on in the set. In trouble again once more here. Beautifully done.
All going Petra's way here.
It is, Laura, but from courtside, you really feel now that the scoreline's changed as it has with a set and a break, that Jessica has to start mixing her play up. Most of that first set, she was comfortable in just waiting it out and seeing if Petra would make the errors. You can't do that now, not with this momentum that Kvitova's got on her side. So she's going to have to play drop shots, she's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. Otherwise, she may get hit off the court here quickly in this second set.
Kvitova eyeing up a double break early on in this second set. Oh, the major champion is looking right back to her best and quite unstoppable as she pulls out into a set and double break lead.
That's just slightly ridiculous tennis from Kvitova, really. You thought she couldn't play any better. Well, actually, she's just come out with that.
Yes, and I almost feel that we need a breather from this match. It's been so fast and furious. Of course, in a couple of evenings' time, there'll be the fireworks off the Harbour Bridge to celebrate the new year. And down by the quayside, it will be absolutely packed. Thousands and thousands of Aussies and tourists that are now able to come into the country will be down there to see one of the most spectacular shows as we bring in the new year. Well, we're under the big top here at the Ken Rosal Arena. Overcast but increasingly warm day at Sydney's inner west. Let's hope the word grows at just how good this United Cup competition is going to be over the 11 days that it's going to be played, culminating in the final Sunday week as we head into the new year. Part of a big sporting summer. The Sydney to Hobart race completed yesterday.
Sam, I used to watch a video on YouTube which was a compilation of Kvitova's winners from the second Wimbledon title, where she just blew everyone away, and it was about 13 to 14 minutes on YouTube of just pure shot making. It was glorious, and then it got taken down. Copyright got in the way.
Could they? Well, that's what we've been calling for.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was talking about in the previous game. And look, she's got the skill set, doesn't she? She has a wonderful little grip change there, drops the racket under the ball to impart the backspin on the drop shot. Catches Kvitova by surprise.
Well, you're close enough to the court, Todd. She probably heard you.
That's the only problem with a headset on. Sometimes you feel you'd better just whisper a little bit.
Well, this is a very different fare from their previous three matches. She won by Kvitova in straights, and then Pegula getting that first win on the board earlier in the year at the US Open. Again, that was very straightforward. This is not, and there's a wrinkle here. Chance for the American to get one of the breaks back.
Team
Just a little sighting of the other Petra Kvitova.
Team Czech Republic leads 3-1.
Just wonder, no, it's the one break. There's a little eye opener. Door open for Jessica Pegula.
I think that's the biggest difference over Kvitova's game in the last couple of years, is that when she was really at her best, she wouldn't allow that to happen because she had so much belief in her shots. And she might break straight back here, but so often when she loses a game like that, you can see it gets in her head, and then she plays so many three-setters across the season, so you know that it must just affect her mentally to think, oh, here we go again.
I think worth putting this performance so far, though, into context, because Pegula was one of the standout players of last season. I'm looking who she beat in the 1,000, the event that just sits below the Grand Slams in Guadalajara. It was back in, that was just only a couple of months ago, in October. She beat 4 Grand Slam champions, the reigning Wimbledon champion. And then Rybakina, Bianca Andreescu, Sloane Stephens, Vika Azarenka, and then Maria Sakkari in the final to take the biggest title of her career, only her second in singles.
Wait, please.
So we take a look at the average return speeds. Kvitova clearly going for a lot more, especially on that second serve. Trying to dominate with the first strike.
So much pace. You almost get the sense that after playing Petra, your playing arm needs an extra few minutes in the ice bath just to recover. How many sets of tennis she's lost after having 8 chances to close out? I would suspect not many, if any at all.
Advantage, Team United States.
Pegula plugging away, and she's staying in touch here, but still down a break in this second set after having dropped the first. So where do we go from here if you're Jessica Pegula? You've got your personal coach sat right next to you, you've got more data than you know what to do with in the screen in front of you.
I think you just keep things simple, and yes, you've got the 16 different angles to work with to the screen on her right, but she's played her best tennis when she's just played tactically well, a lot of cross-court once the rally gets going, keeping the pressure on Kvitova so that she just can't out-hit you. And staying really positive. She looked at a set in a double break, starting to get really negative, and she's done so well to pull that back, rein it in.
Just briefly away from the United Cup just for a moment, woke up to the news of the passing of Pelé. That was announced this morning. Probably the greatest footballer of all time, and just coming just really less than a week after the World Cup final. So the Brazilian team, who are in Brisbane at the moment playing Italy, I think would be very sad at the moment. That is a big moment for the country of Brazil.
15 love.
Just the fourth ace of the match. Couple each.
The length of the rallies seems to have really dropped down. It's either Kvitova hitting a winner or throwing in an unlikely error where she just doesn't get the legs underneath the ball enough. It seems to have just disrupted Pegula a bit from the baseline.
Was that for Jessica Pegula, but Kvitova taking full advantage, and she maintains her break lead in the second set. Edging ever closer to the finish line.
Lead for zone.
Petra has been dominating Pegula's second serve in this second set. Even in that point, she ended up losing the point, but the return is just so aggressive. Her positioning's right up on the baseline.
Thank you. Please.
And even though she's missed that one, it just puts so much pressure on Pegula to deliver a perfect second serve right in the corner. Otherwise, you know, you're going to have to recover faster than humanly possible with the way Petra's hitting it.
And that is not an exaggeration. Just wonder how much Kvitova will invest in these Pegula service games as we go through this, the latter part of the second set.
Game, Team United States.
Team America hanging on here though, but it's still the Czechs who are ahead, leading by a set and a break.
Todd, I don't know if you feel differently, but I think Petra has to keep herself in the return games, because that's when she got herself in that first set, when she was starting to make a few more balls, keep the pressure on, and then take a bit of pressure off her own service games as well.
Well, we'll just hear from Todd in just a moment, but this is a country that certainly in recent years has really embraced its indigenous heritage.
I did an unbelievable tour of the Koori Heritage Trust, which is a indigenous museum by Fed Square in Melbourne. And did you know that they had left-handed boomerangs?
You would have been, as a lefty, you would have been interested.
I was thrilled with that. However many thousands of years ago, they had left-handed boomerangs.
Well, the lower bowls here at the Ken Rosal Arena, which is looking absolutely magnificent on this last Friday before we head into the new year, really starting to fill up now, and hopefully they'll. Certainly last night was buzzing, and we're looking for good crowds as we head into the weekend.
And Sam, I'm in the lower bowl, below court level almost, and my head just popping over the side, watching this match. And the interesting part about the last 15 minutes or so was that Petra has gone up a notch in pace and hitting that ball flatter again. And I know Laura was talking about keeping involved in those return games and just taking a bit of pace off and changing, and we saw her do so well when she used the angles. Got to get back to that if she wants to finish this match off. I think it's better for 3 or 4 shaped balls and then 1 flat ball, because if she gets the shape, she actually pushes Pegula into the extremities of the court, and then she's got the options of where she can strike. She's got the big forehand up the line that she likes to use, but she can then, as we know, she can hit any portion of the court when she chooses to, but just playing a little more safe would help.
Oh, it's a wonderful combination from the American. And what we've learned over almost the last couple of hours, closing out is hard to do with this pair of players. Another nice slow backhand volley for you, Todd, right in your eye line.
Indeed, that was almost a lyric of a song. Closing out is hard to do.
I thought that was breaking up as hard to do.
Oh, is that what it was?
Breaking up.
I knew it was something close
Closing
like that.
Time's a different song, I think.
Great experience for the youngster on the end of the bench there at Dalibor, just 20 years of age. She might be up in the mixed later on with Jessica sitting beside him.
Smart serve. took some pace off, what Todd's been looking for. Even on the serve, it makes a difference. Pegula was having to cut off that angle. It was moving so far off the court with the lefty swinger.
Yeah, exactly, Laura. It just takes it out of the strike zone that little bit, and because that's exactly where, you know, most players like it, but more so Jess Pegula likes it.
Is just getting a fractionally more labour. This is such an opener, isn't it, for their first match of the season. And the lefty swinger once again doing the job, and Kvitova maintains her break advantage.
Team Czech Republic leads 5-3.
Perfect couple of points from Love, 30 down. Just played much smarter tennis. Even that drive volley, not going for crazy shots.
Pegula could not have imagined that she would be in this situation, and she broke Kvitova for the first time in the match at 5-all in the first, so it had to serve for it. Wasn't able to do so. Unable to close out with 8 set points. Don't forget, she was 6-5, 40 love, 5-1 up in the opening set breaker.
A bit like the last return game, Kvitova not really hanging in here.
Perfectly done by Jessica Pegula, who's still hanging on for Team USA, but it'll be the Czech Republic who will, with Petra Kvitova, who will serve to see if they can try and get back in this time.
Come on, girl.
How much do you feel Jessica Pegula has any sense that this match now is on her racket?
She absolutely will be thinking, I'm right in this. I've just held to love twice.
Yeah.
You never really know how Kvitova is going to feel coming out to close a match, especially the first match of the season, where nerves are always running high. And she could throw in a double fault or two, a couple of unforced errors, and then we're right back to where we started, like in the first set.
I think you called it absolutely right, that when Petra was 3-love up in the second set, double break was broken to love very easy, lost all the momentum, hasn't quite regained it. Petra Kvitova, the Czech #1, trying to get her team back in this tie. She has to win out here this morning. We're just heading into the afternoon. What is almost a couple of hours she's been on court with Jessica Pegula. This is the third of 5 matches in the tie. Czech Republic trail 2-love from yesterday's play. Phenomenal. We have seen some of the best of Kvitova out here today. Got it.
Mají 20 sekund ještě, ne? Čas.
Everything behind this game for the two-time former Wimbledon champion. A couple of hours, Kvitova at match point. In the history of this contest, the job might be far from done though.
Well, you knew she was going to go big on the second serve. Brush that one off. 2 more match points.
The Czechs are back in business. What a fabulous opener today too. Big win for Petra Kvitova and the Czech Republic. And it's the former Wimbledon champion that comes through in 2 sets. She wins 7-6, 6-4.
Just a huge win for Petra. She dug deep. That first set went forever. So many chances for both players. Set points either way. And Petra just did a great job today of hanging in, perhaps more than we've seen from her in a while. And played aggressive as ever. But by the end of that match, she was really playing smart tennis. A lot of high percentage forehands cross court. Playing smart first serves, taking some pace off when needed.
Well, she doesn't win as big as that too often, and what a way to start the new season for Pegula. That was a real eye-opener to the players that are going to come at her. She's got a target on her head as one of the world's best players, but what a high-level match that we have opened up with here in the #1 women's singles. A special performance, particularly from this woman in your picture. And don't write off the Czechs. She's their team leader. And we're going to get a chance to hear from her in just a moment. Special from Petra Kvitova. Just what was needed with 2 more matches to play. Let's hear, though, from Petra. She's with Todd.
Well, Petra, congratulations. I know you'll be all smiles, not just about that win today, but also getting your team back into this competition. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, we keep fighting, so thank you. Yeah, I think, you know, USA is such a great team with the great players in the team, and of course that we are not really favorites here, but we are fighting every match, every point, and that's our team spirit. So I'm really glad that I bring the point here, and we are still in play, and yeah, we try.
There was some vintage Petra Kvitova out there today. You had your moments in the first set where you had your chances, they disappeared, and then you hung in there. Somehow you got through that tiebreak. Tell us about that opening set.
Yeah, the first set was really a roller coaster, and it was a great play from Jessica as well. And I lost to her last time in US Open. I love to play for the team in the team colors, and I'm just glad that, you know, all the support which I had from the team, from the fans, and from the beautiful arena, which I had the best memories what I can have to have 2 titles from here. So it's really remind me of the great success what I had, and I'm just happy to be in Sydney.
And what about the United Cup for you? This opportunity, a first in tennis in a way to have men and women combining together in that team. We play our other individual competitions, but this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually, I've been always jealous to the men's side when they had a Labour Cup and ATP Cup, and finally we have a United Cup. So thank you very much, Tennis Australia, for having us. It's a great team event, and we are really enjoying it. We have a young team with a lot of great future of it, and I'm just happy to be part of it. And yeah, it's just great atmosphere and great event.
And in saying you've got a young team, you actually said the other day you felt like you're the mother of the team. You've got to keep all the youngsters in check. How's that going?
It's going well. You saw that. I mean, it's nice that when you hear them and cheer for them, and I'm here to support them as well. So it's fun. It's fun. I'm bringing in experiences, you know, and they are bringing the young age and energy of it. So it's fun.
Well, you're still playing at the top of your game. Congratulations on a great win, and good luck to the rest of your team as you battle it out against the United States here this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Děkuji.
Leading the charge, isn't she, from the front, Petra Kvitova, and still loving the game and competing after all these years that she's been out there. And I think, Laura, just an insight into how much she loves team tennis as well. What a difference it made to her.
Well, it's such a fun matchup as well, some really heavy hitting. Jess Pegula, she's got to feel like that was actually a pretty good match from her, first one of the season, and she played some really good tennis, just wasn't able to come up with better tennis on the big points, and that was what Petra did incredibly well when it mattered, just went for all-out ball striking, which she always does, but that was the best match I've seen from her in quite some time. So it's really special, actually, that we get to see this in the first match of the season.
Yeah, I think that's what we really can't get over, how high the level was. But just break down some of what we're seeing here, Laura.
Well, the winners was really the big difference. 14 forehand winners from Petra and another 13 on the backhand side. Yes, she threw in more unforced errors because of that, because she's going all out, but she can afford to throw in a few more when you're dominating the points once they get going. She was really steady on